even those who hate on Call of Duty can generally agree Call of Duty Zombies is iconic. It's an iconic survival experience. It's been a while since we've made a COD video. I'm ready to get canceled again over our opinions on the fictional game, like every time we make a top 5 zombies video and piss everyone off, and I just thought it'd be fun today to tackle it.
To tackle getting canceled?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. I have nothing left to lose, so
all right,
might as well go
let's
for it.
Let's dive right in then.
So let us know what you think in the comments down below. Tell us why we're wrong, why you hate us, and why we will never see the light of day again. Definitely interested in that. What are your favorite maps? What are the most iconic? Because we are going through today not what our favorite maps are really, but the maps that we think of when we think of Call of Duty Zombies, and the maps that generally we've seen that the internet thinks of when they think of COD Zombies. So these are the 5 most iconic maps in COD Zombies.
Number 5.
The first one is Moon. Now, it's not only what I'm going to do to Nate as soon as I stop recording with him, but also a fantastically fun little map. Now, there's a lot of issues with this map that really annoy people. You know, dealing with the entire Samantha Easter egg of trying to open up the pyramid and get things going. It's obnoxious.
And the astronaut dude that will not leave you alone.
Excuse me, he's a cosmonaut. Sorry. Yeah, I know. It's like, he is really annoying because you don't really know how much damage you're doing to him when he's approaching you until he just pops dead, and it can kind of throw you back into zombies or other areas that's really annoying. But in general, like, this is one of those maps that I think people just think of when they think of zombies. From Black Ops 1, this was one of those maps that pushed forward the zombie story very interestingly. I know a lot of people have not gotten to the end with the Easter egg. We did. But it's a humble brag.
Oh, yeah. You gotta flex whenever you can. We have, like, nothing here.
Yeah, we did nothing going. We gotta do what we can. But I think most people who have played zombies have seen the ending of this, you know, with the missiles being launched at Earth and everything, which kind of set up... I understand people didn't like the payoff, but it did sort of set up the Black Ops 2 storyline of zombies.
Right, with, like, Transit and Buried
the
and
map
stuff
that everyone hates.
Even though we love.
I do enjoy Transit, but... it did set up that storyline. I think that this was one of the more serious maps, but there's a lot of fun to be had here. You're essentially in outer space fighting zombies. It's a fun time. You're running around in space. You can go inside the dome. There's a lot of areas to train zombies in. I don't know. What do you have to add to this? I mean, it's Moon. Like, people look at it. It even got an Xbox 360 wallpaper.
Right. Yeah. Nice reference
there.
there.
Hey, there we go. Throwing it back on 90.
This map's great. You know, I really like this map. It is pretty iconic. The one thing that really bothers me about this map is having to constantly run back to the beginning to stop the drill thing from destroying the
biodome?
Yeah, or wherever, the tunnels or whatever. That's probably the only thing about this map that really bothers me, but everything else about it is pretty fun.
Yeah, I also think it's actually this and Shangri-La, which Shangri-La is not on our list, although I do think it's, you know, if we were doing 10, it would be in there. But this and Shangri-La are also very accessible maps for new people doing Easter eggs.
Right.
So I think that this map is also iconic in the sense that it got a whole group of people into doing the Call of Duty Zombies Easter eggs. Like, it was fairly simple to set up. Yes, is it a little obnoxious sometimes? 100%. But this and Shangri-La were fairly straightforward in what you could do, and the payoff was huge with pushing forward the zombies story. I think this introduced a lot of people to even knowing that there was an overall story going on in the background, because a lot of people just play 10 waves and die.
Right.
So this was something that really got so many people into zombies, and it's one of the experiences that made Black Ops 1 such an iconic zombies experience.
Yeah, this is definitely a really good one.
Number 4. It's the 4th one.
4.
The next one is Origins. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people have talked about how this is one of the best maps ever. A lot of people have talked about how it's their favorite and how they love it and how we should have included it in the top 5 best ones. To be fair to us, the last time we played Origins, I believe we did the Easter egg for 6 or 7 hours.
I think it was 8.
8 hours.
I think it was.
Straight.
Because I think me, you, and Chris started at like 10 in the morning. We didn't finish it until my wife got home from work at like 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I mean, I started at 10 in the morning and I didn't finish till 6 at night.
That's pretty impressive.
That's a pretty impressive long haul through zombies.
Zombies.
Yeah,
yes.
and playing zombies.
Yes.
Yeah, I do agree that this is a really fun map. Like, I think that the Easter egg is awesome. I think that going up against the robots is great. Now, bear in mind, we're not going to have all the terminology down here, like, perfectly. This map, I will say the staffs, you love the staffs.
The staffs are my favorite part about any zombies map.
And it didn't make your favorite maps video.
No, that's insane. That's because I hate Origins.
Oh, you hate Origins?
Yes, because the Easter egg is terrible. Like, I don't care.
So you're saying that this experience we had with the Easter egg really sullied this map for us quite a bit.
I think really it did. But it is a really iconic map. I will say that.
If you're playing it just for fun, or just to get to the point of getting the staffs or something like that, I think that it becomes a lot better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I will argue that the Easter eggs can really sully a lot of these maps for people, which is kind of an issue with how in-depth and complicated they are.
Right.
And if you don't have like a full team of 4. I think we were doing it with 3 people.
Yeah,
which made it even more difficult than it needed to be. But I do think that this map is interesting because it's a World War I style bunker area. You're going through the trenches. You're making your way against sci-fi elements as well. Like, there's science fiction with the robots. There's magic with the staves. There's the zombies, which is kind of a mixture of the two, which I think is very interesting. There's powering the generators, which I thought, yes, can be annoying, but it's actually pretty fun. How you essentially power and defend the generators. And you can train around them, but you can also camp. So there's like different styles of play here. A lot of the maps are designed around just training. So it's nice to see a map that kind of benefits from both. And I do think that you feel very accomplished when you go through this map. Again, this was one of those maps where it was like that intro with Avenged Sevenfold and, you know, Dempsey, Nikolai, Richtofen, and Tak, you know, all of them taking out all of the different zombies and just the heavy metal rock blaring in the background and stuff. Like, this is one of the things people think of when they think of zombies.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty iconic.
Number three.
The next one up is Ascension, which is very interesting because you actually are at a rocket launch site. This is essentially a very interesting area where you're going through. It's very weird too, because in between rounds, sometimes the space monkeys will sort of come in, and they are very annoying. They will try and like take your perks by attacking the perk machine that you got a perk at. If you let them get to there, essentially they can take away all your perks. So you sort of have to camp those perk machines in between those rounds when they show up. That's instead of dogs. So that was a unique spin, I think, that people thought was really weird. I mean, you remember the first time I played this, I was like, wait, is that monkeys?
Yeah, it was like, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And then when they took the perks, it was like, what's going on here? Why am I losing a perk? It took me a long time to realize what they actually were doing.
To be fair, we're not the smartest people.
Well, you're not.
Well, that's true. You're the brains of the operation. Yeah. I'm just the good looks.
Exactly.
OnlyFans coming soon. There's a lot going on here that gamers remember. Launching the rocket, I think, is one of the biggest things.
Yeah, and also using those cool teleporter pads.
Yeah, the teleporter pads. This was not... it's like it wasn't the first time we saw the teleporter pads, because obviously there were things like... what was it? Degenerate? Did I say it right? To any of our Yahtzee fans, tell me if I said it right. I don't know. I'm not a follower, so I don't know how to say their names. But
it's actually Degenerate.
Oh, got it. Degenerate. But, you know, we saw that before also in the Giant, obviously, later on, with some of the teleporter pads. But those have always been iconic with zombies, too. Something that was in Kino as well. I do think that with this map, there's a lot of frustration to it because there's a lot of areas where players can get caught, especially when you're going down to the Pack-a-Punch. It's just a very annoying area where zombies can flood in. I think that sometimes the obnoxiousness of this map makes people not enjoy it as much, especially because this map is designed for training 100%.
Yeah.
If you're not a trainer of zombies, I'm sure you can, but I don't see you getting that far in here, because the strategy for both solo and 4 players is essentially get to a high enough round, pack your guns, run around the one teleporter pad over and over and over and over, and kill the zombies. So there's a point where it becomes annoying, but the area itself is iconic. When you ask people what's one of your favorite maps, usually this does come up within the first, few people you ask.
Right. There's not really a lot of good camping spots, at least not that we have found, but we've played this a bunch.
Yeah, and you know what? By the way, here's the thing. not to make this whole video defending my zombies takes at all, but I find it interesting how people get mad when you play camping, but they don't get mad when you run around in a circle like a moron, like having zombies follow you. Either is a valid strategy. By the way, it's designed, for either, but running around in a circle training is the easier way to get to higher rounds. But if you think about it, either of those methods is a very silly way to play.
Mm-hmm.
You either have to sit in a corner and shoot as 4 people, essentially, or you have to run around as a group and have people follow you and you just turn around and pop shots in them.
Right.
I'm saying there's not exactly a super in-depth strategy here, so it's odd to me how people get mad when people play a different way.
Well, and also just not to get off topic, but just at the end of the day, it's just you playing a game. If you want to play your
now,
way,
hold on.
It doesn't really matter.
Now, hold on just a second. This is my life.
Sorry.
This is my life's work.
Sorry. I have to follow everything you do, and I can't play the game
You
my
have
own
to.
way.
This is a cult.
Okay.
But speaking of that, speaking of cults, I don't know why I said that. Do you think that there's anything else, though, about Ascension that actually makes it an iconic experience? I mean, the location, I think the monkeys, the different things going on with the perks, the Pack-a-Punch being fairly simple to access but interesting. I think all the platforms, too, you have to think when you're going around, essentially. Like how you can get to different areas from far away. And how you can get sort of trapped in different areas. And if you open certain doors, you can get flooded very easily. Mm-hmm. A lot easier than earlier maps, I think, even, other than Verrucht, which is a nightmare with that.
Right.
But
yeah, I think one other thing I'd like to point out is actually the thing in the starting room that moves around.
Yeah, whatever that arm is.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. But then also the other thing is in 5, remember in that Easter egg? It's in Kino. Sorry. Remember the Easter egg where you can appear in the room and then the rocket ship goes off?
Yeah.
That's from Ascension. That's kind of cool.
There's actually a lot of references to Ascension throughout the series. Ascension's very important to the story, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
How much they reference back to it.
Number 2, the numero dos.
The next one we have is Nacht Der Untoten.
That's how you pronounce it?
I think I said it correctly enough. If you want, you can report me to the Führer, I guess. But
it's actually Nacht Der Untoten.
It's weird how much Americans care about how I say this Yahtzee name. But anyway, this is like the very first map.
Right.
Okay.
It is the first map. It is not like the first.
No, it's like the first map.
Okay.
This is like the first map.
Okay.
Because it is it.
Okay.
See? Mind-bending stuff here.
Yeah, you're like Dr. Mindbender from G.I. Joe.
You've been destroyed in more ways than one today. Here's the thing with Nacht. Is it the most perfect map ever? No. Is it good for training?
No.
Not really, no. This is sort of a camping map. It's so simple, but it's so iconic. This was something that launched the entire series. In a lot of ways, this maybe could have been number 1, but I thought it was kind of a cop-out to just throw it at number 1. But this launched the Zombies series. I mean, they made this as sort of just a throwaway, a fun little level at the end of World at War.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of a post-credits experience where it's like, hey, listen, you can play around. Just survive different waves of zombies. You can get some guns off the wall and have fun. That's it. It was like a one-off thing like the Modern Warfare 2 Museum.
Right.
Which, by the way, is also underrated and very fun.
I love the museum.
People don't talk about that enough. But it's interesting how this caught on so well. And there's a lot of weird things that were not thought out very well, like the gun in the cabinet being basically worthless.
Yeah, it was awful in the original, and it's awful in the remake on the PS3. Or
PS4?
PS4, Black Ops 3.
Yeah, there you go.
They just had like the Lotus sniper in Black Ops 3.
Wow.
It's like the base sniper.
But it does that, isn't that the one with the cool thing when you reload? With the hands, it goes like... Or is that
no, that's a different one.
Oh, okay.
But I think in the original,
Sorry, I don't remember the iconic Black Ops 3 guns from the story about Corvus and the tree. My bad.
Great game. Stop disrespecting it.
It's interesting how you are stuck in this bunker, this World War II bunker, and the world around you is just dead.
Right.
Everything is dead. You look outside, there's bodies, there's destroyed cars, there's bombed out buildings.
Yeah,
everything's gone.
Yeah, it's like a huge field.
Yeah.
Actually. And then there's like a highway at the other end of the field.
I mean, it's just...
With a bus.
Where are you referencing transit?
Yeah.
Oh,
It appears in transit
that's
as an
true.
Easter
That's a
egg.
good point. I'm not going to show that because I'm not going to go there because it's really annoying. But you can cut through the fields in transit to get to this.
Yeah.
That's how iconic it is that they were popping it into other maps. This actually makes, I would say, a appearance in multiple maps. There's sort of a redo of this in Cold War as well. And also this map appears in Revelations.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a map that keeps coming up over and over again because despite its simplicity, this post-apocalyptic feeling of everything's dead, you're the only person left or the only group of people left, and that's it. Survive. You know, it's one of the most iconic feelings in the entire series, but it's crazy how such a simple idea kickstarted, I would say, like $1 billion franchise in a way. I mean, how much have they made off of selling people the expansions just to get a zombies map with it?
Yeah,
You know,
a
like
lot.
where it's like you'll buy the Havoc pack and it comes with one map. You know,
You'll
it's like
buy it anyways.
right, but
'cause you
even
want the
even the
pack.
people who don't play multiplayer buy those.
Right.
You know, zombies fans will buy the one pack just to get one map. When it shows you how iconic this is, that when the Zombies Chronicles came out on Black Ops 3, they were able to make an entire new edition of the game with that, and people bought it like hotcakes.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty iconic. You know, the map itself, like you said, is really simple. I think it's just 3 rooms, four rooms, with a mystery box.
Yeah.
And don't buy the couch,
Don't buy the couch area, you'll get
or
totally
else you
boned.
get just literally screwed. But no, it's pretty fun. I remember the first experience I had where you had like that intro of you like kind of waking up a little bit, and then like the zombies running after you. When I was a kid, I actually used to get scared.
Well, you still do, don't lie.
So anyways, the map, but yeah, I remember just that experience of like you waking up and it's like, oh crap, and then you appear in that room, you know, and you're like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible waking up. It's incredible the feeling. It's incredible just getting, you know, the higher you got in rounds, the more productive you felt, I guess, in the game. You felt like you were getting better.
Right.
It didn't feel like it was luck-based. It felt like you were actually improving as a player.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Life-changing, show-stopping, brilliant, amazing.
Yeah, it was Oprah.
Honorary mentions.
So we do have a few honorary maps. We're going to run through these a lot quicker, and then we will have our final pick. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe for more content, as we will be doing more top 5s, aiming to do about one a week at least going forward. So that's kind of my goal of different games and franchises. But let's hop into the honorary mentions. The first one is 9. This was from Black Ops 4. It is the only Black Ops 4 map to make it onto the list. Because Black Ops 4 Zombies has a lot of problems, but it did some things right too. And I think 9 is interesting because it doesn't make the official list, but when people think of Black Ops 4 Zombies, I think most people do think of 9, just because of how unique it was. This was one of the best thought out maps. You start in the Coliseum, you're taking part in different challenges that you can activate, you can go into different sort of gladiatorial battles, or gladiator battles, I'm not sure how you say that.
I would just say gladiator battles. Yeah.
Fair enough. Someone will let us know. But you can sort of go into these different battles. You can get all these different perks. I think one of the problems with this map is that it suffers from the mechanics of the game. So, like, for example, the perks suck.
Yeah.
Black Ops 4 perks are so boring.
Yes.
So, like, there's not really a big incentive to go and get perks because you're kind of like, I don't care.
It's like, yeah, I could buy a perk to summon a wolf.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but like it's not great.
There are good or like decent perks in the game,
Right.
Especially after they re-added in a few like PhD slider and stuff. After those were added in later, but in general, I think that this map does suffer from having those setbacks with the game that it's in. Also with your health bar being a little weird and stuff like that, and at times the supers trivializing encounters. Like, for example, I love the supers, but the fact that some boss can show up and you can pull out a super and basically just obliterate them.
Right.
Stuff like that was a little too much at times, but the map itself, despite all those flaws with Black Ops 4, I think it still holds up really well. And there's all these different labeled areas that you can go into where, you know, it's different cultures combined. There's areas that are Greek, there's areas that are Egyptian, the background dressing as well, and how it all ties together through that central magical theme of time travel.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. It's the only map on Black Ops 4 that's actually iconic. The second map we had for honorary mention was actually 5. You know, it was redone in Black Ops 4, like you said, with Classified, but I think the original map is just so iconic. It's the only map where you get to play as presidents.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay. Let's be fair. Not everyone is a president. Not all of them are presidents.
Nate's a history major, so let's be fair on that. But
you get to play as Richard Nixon.
Well, coming from me too, I'm not a history major, and I think that it's really interesting how they threw those characters in there. You know, and they tied it into the overall story. Yeah. That's something Classified lost.
You know, the original 5 was so fun, really iconic, and they had like that weird scientist dude down in the basement. That was annoying, but iconic also.
The Pyramid Thief? Or no, not
whatever his name is. Something Thief.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But, no, the map overall was really cool. You get to play in the Pentagon, which is awesome. You get to start up, like, just in, like, the main floor. Then you can actually go 2 floors down. Like, go to, like, the war bunker. And
my gosh, when you can activate the DEFCONs, like DEFCON 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it changes the map and it opens up the area. Is Classified included in your 5?
I count them as the same. Okay. I mean, they're basically the same map. The only difference is Classified got rid of that scientist guy.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I didn't like him at all.
And they added a place to teleport to Pack-a-Punch.
Yeah.
Which is the place in Moon, which is cool.
It's well thought out, too, in the sense of how much tension there is. So, for example, like, if zombies are flooding the main floor, and you're, like, in the elevator, and you're like, come on, get to the elevator. You know, we've had that before, where it's like, there's a guy running to the elevator, and there's, like, 10 people behind him, and everyone in the elevator is, like, shooting past him to hit zombies.
Yeah, it's basically like, Jack Sparrow from Dead Man's Chest when he's running away from all those cannibals. Like,
that is the best pirate I've ever seen. On the first floor, you kind of have to be careful and navigate through the H-type layout. In the second floor, you have more of a training area, and in the third floor, you can't really train very easily, but you can use these teleporters to hop between different areas automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the one downfall about this map for me, the original 5, was that they had Robert McNamara as one of the main characters when they missed a golden opportunity to have either Dwight D. Eisenhower or Lyndon B. Johnson.
Or Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Yeah.
You can't answer that, can you?
Yes, he would be very cool.
Very mobile.
And empowering.
But I do want to say that one thing I do want to throw in here, too, by the way, because we already took too long on this entry, so who cares, is that it would have been great, like you said, to see other presidents in this map later on. Like, I'm just imagining... I'm telling you this. These zombies, they're coming straight from China. Now, you've got to be honest, the Chinese virus is making these zombies. They're very clearly, these are all people who got the vaccine. I've got to be honest with you. They all got the vaccine. They're all here trying to kill me. It's not very cool. At least I got to see Melania topless earlier. I've got to be honest with you. That was pretty great. Wasn't that great, Barack? Wasn't that great? You know, wouldn't you have loved to see that in the zombies map?
We
didn't get to see it.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're just going to throw in the main characters.
Yeah.
That's really boring.
That's really boring. Thank you. There's a lot of missed opportunities with characters in this one. But I think it's time we move on to our third honorary mention, which is Der Riese. Der Riese is one of my favorite maps. I hope I said it right for all my German followers out there. I mean fans. Der Riese is interesting because of how evil scientist it is, right, and how dark it is. This was one of the first, I believe this was the first map to introduce Hellhounds. This is one of those maps, again, where it benefits from different styles of play. Like, you can play this as a camper, which I know people say is like this noob strategy. So if you're not super great at training and stuff, you can get pretty far in this map. Especially in the giant version of it, which is honestly my favorite. But Der Riese is the version of it that people think of.
Right.
With this map, too, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with the Pack-a-Punch, with the different areas that you can get to, which it's sort of like a little maze, but there's enough leeway in this to drop down off ledges if you're getting attacked, which is a problem that later Zombies maps have. Mm-hmm. Later Zombies maps too often put you in like a narrow hallway up above things, but there's no way to drop down. Or if you're going to, it's annoying like Shadows of Evil, where it's like, pay 300 zombies points and you can open the shortcut to drop down.
Right.
And this map didn't really do that. It was just, hey, you can kind of run around how you want to here. If you get cornered, that's your fault. You suck, too bad, get better. It didn't feel like cheap and unfair.
Yeah, there was a lot to like about the Der Riese or the Giant. They're both basically the same. There's a lot to like about them. Like we talked about earlier, it does have the cool teleporters, which I think were very iconic. There's a lot to like about this. It also has possibly the best camping spot in all of Zombies.
Very
yes,
true.
I know I'm a noob, but it is one of the best camping spots.
How dare
in all
you
of
play the
Zombies.
game that you paid for in the way you want to play
I am
it?
very sorry to
You son of a bitch!
I'm sorry to all
You
these
piece of
fans
poo.
out there.
Number 1.
Splat.
The final one we have at number 1 is Kino. Yes, you knew that it was going to happen. Kino Der Toten. What are we going to say? You know, like, what are we going to say? That's it. That's the list. Have a great day.
That's all.
No, with Kino, there's a lot going on as well. You're running around a theater. This was one of the first maps. I believe it was the first map to introduce the actual time travel aspect of Zombies.
It was, because it's in the intro.
Yeah, and it threw you forward
Yeah.
in time. And I think to this point, people were wondering, how is Zombies going to work here? Well, Zombies is a World War II thing. How are you going to do this? Like, how's this going to work?
Right.
And when you get thrown forward in time into the theater and you get there for the first time and you're looking around, you're like, oh my word, this is really cool. You know, like there's a lot here that you didn't expect to ever see in Zombies.
But yeah, no, there's a lot to it. Also has the cool, when you go in the teleporter, you can randomly appear in different areas.
Uh-huh.
Like you can go into Samantha's bedroom. I know that sounds really weird,
Oh,
but
hello.
you can go in there. You can also go into the
Pentagon.
The Pentagon, and you can see the Ascension rocket go off. Or if you go up and press it, you can.
Right.
But yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff about it, and a lot of cool areas. Like I remember going in on the outside of the theater for the first time and seeing that cool car. I thought it was kind of cool.
Well, the thing too is
not
like,
that cool, but I thought it was neat.
well, I think one of the things that's really interesting about this map is one of the first times you play it and you use the mystery box, you know, and it eventually goes away. You're kind of thinking, well, where is it?
Right.
You know, and you're looking at the theater and you're like, I'm stuck in this theater. Where am I going to go? But one of the first times you get outside and you realize you can go into the alleyway and stuff as well. This map connects very well with itself. You can go into the auditorium. You can fight on the stage where the theater would actually, you know, show movies, stuff like that as well. I just think that this is one of those maps that everyone thinks of when they think of Zombies. It was packaged in with Black Ops, which I think is worth mentioning too, because you didn't have to pay extra for this map. It just came with Black Ops. If you never decide to buy another Zombies map in your life, but you have Black Ops, you have this map.
Right.
And I think that it had that benefit like Nacht, where it got the most amount of people to play it. You know, I mean, a lot of the people playing this, let's be honest, were teenagers or kids whose parents probably didn't buy them the maps. So like a lot of people played this map endlessly over and over again. And I remember at release, my cousins would play this map so much. Like it was like, this was their introduction to Zombies. And it was so big for them because they hadn't played World at War.
Right.
You know, MW2 and Black Ops were so big for bringing people into the franchise of COD. And because this happened to be in Black Ops as the packed-in experience, I think everyone who's even touched Black Ops in any way, that sounds inappropriate, I hope you asked first, has probably touched this map. I'm going to have to release an apology here for this top 5.
Apparently, we don't want to know what you did at Kino Der Toten. This was like the Nacht of Black Ops. This and Nacht were the two maps that people played over and over and over.
You could be a movie reviewer, the Nacht of Black Ops. Put it on the review.
I could, yeah. This was the Nacht of Black Ops. But yeah, it was just, everyone played this one. You know, like you said with your cousins, I had a friend that would go to his house and we would play this for like 3 hours straight. And then we go play combat training for another like 2 hours. And then we would come back to Kino.
Yeah.
And then my mom would pick us up and it's like, oh, I want to play Kino again.
And you have to go back to your boring life with your awful mother. Yeah, you feel bad about what you said now? She's watching.
I don't.
How do you feel? I called her.
Bad.
I texted her and told her to
I
watch.
do feel bad. I'm sure she wants to sit through a 30-minute
She
Zombies
stuck it out.
video. But yeah, no, this map is so iconic. It is great.
Again, there's not really much to dislike about Kino. Also, it's worth noting, I don't remember if this was in the original entry. And to be fair, I probably showed some of the re-release maps and stuff too, because it's easier to get footage. But with this, I know that in the re-release of it, there was also that knocking Easter egg on the doors, where there would be these different knocks, and you'd have to go to the door and listen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which added a little bit of mystery to this map as well. I remember finding the film reels was really cool. Like, what is this going to do? And how you kind of unlock more of the story through that way. But hey, let us know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think the most iconic Call of Duty Zombies maps are? What are your thoughts on what we picked? Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this. Subscribe for more content. More top 5s will be on the way. Many of them will be shorter than this. It's very hard to actually flesh out these maps efficiently in just a couple minutes because of how complex they are and how much is going on. But let us know what you think down there. Be sure to check out the secondary channel Degenerate Plays for different Let's Plays, podcast style, where we hang out with you in the comment section answering questions, having fun playing through different games. Have a fantastic day. And as always, everyone, stay shui. I hope you have a fantastic day.